We also need to go back and look at all of the armed forces because they need to integrate their capabilities much more effectively than they do today. This means a complete reorganization or overhaul of the Department of Defense. This, of course, is the thing that nobody wants in Washington because the existing equipment lines, the existing structures, the 43 four-stars and their headquarters and interests, these things support endless defense spending on a scale that is unnecessary and ultimately detracts from our prosperity. You know, Eisenhower said the American people deserve national security and they also deserve prosperity. He says it's our job to give them both. And boy, there were lots of people in the Air Force, the Navy, the Army, and the Marines that hated Dwight Eisenhower because he absolutely refused to indulge the bloating of these services and their headquarters. He knew how the system worked. He said, forget it, I'm not going to do it. We haven't had anybody with that kind of understanding and strength in the White House in the last 60, 70 years, and we desperately need someone like that now. We have to put an end to this nonsense, an end to the fantasies. You know, we're not going to sit on Taiwan and prevent the Chinese from seizing it. First of all, China may not be interested in seizing it, and the Taiwanese don't necessarily want to fight the Chinese, and we may see a very peaceful unification in the near future. People don't understand what's really happening on the ground. But think of the stupidity of isolating your forces there. We went through this at Manila in 1942. You know, the whole plan for war in the Pacific involved the use of the entire United States Navy to cross the Pacific with 2 divisions of U.S. troops and relieve our troops in the Philippines. Everybody, including MacArthur and Nimitz and everyone who took over, knew that was an impossibility. And what happened to us? We put up a tremendous fight, not something like what happened in Singapore with Percival and the Brits. That was a disgrace. He just turned all those poor men over to the Japanese, and the rest of it is history. But with us, we fought tenaciously. We still ended up with 12,000 men and women who were nurses marched to,
Bataan Death Camp,
to these camps where they were treated like animals. Should never have happened. We can't do these things. We cannot put large numbers of forces on islands and penny packets. This is the problem in the Middle East right now. A few thousand here, a few thousand there. And everybody says, well, it's worked so far and we can go and punish those guys with air power. The real capabilities haven't been employed. People really don't want to go to war with us. But if we provoke and we push and we insist, we'll get what we don't want. And then we will end our role in this world as a great power. We will recede back into the Western Hemisphere, and we will do it in a state of weakness. Weakness always invites attack, and we will have trouble defending ourselves. That happened to the Spanish. It's happened to the British. We're following the same stupid path to disaster.